Okay, so today is day number 31 and we completely restarted my business from scratch, and it's been a big day because between the video yesterday and today I've onboarded 2 new clients onto the offer which I have, which is essentially that I work free to get someone their first client, and then after that point on we figure out a paid plan. And yeah, essentially I've got a lot of work to do since I've got to get these guys on board and also begin segmenting out my service delivery. So I want to give you a big kind of whirl on what has actually been going on today so far. So first things first, to show you my calendar. First things first, this was a client call that I did here. This was actually the call that actually ended up being the second client of the 2 the yesterday. Call was actually just one over WhatsApp, so pretty simple. Then 3 more client calls, and yeah, that was a pretty simple day in regards to what the actual conversations, whatnot look like. If I'm going to show you the actual data that we've got on board so far, is essentially yesterday we put out all of our videos, good to go on that front. We only gained 1 new subscriber, which was a little bit weird, just hadn't seen that in a while. And then essentially we got a good amount of calendar views, 6 calendar views, 1 call scheduled, 1 call closed, 1 person closed onto the free offer. So as you can now see, if I were to actually open my Slack here, we've got, I believe, either 11 or 12 people on board. There's actually 1 client that isn't in the Slack here. And essentially now I've got a really big and good problem to have in my business, which is if I pull up a whiteboard for you guys, you're able to see that now I've got these 12 clients, and of these 12 clients, I believe around 2 of them are paid. And now what the big bottleneck in my business is I just need to get better at actually going through the process of converting someone from this free offer into, again, this paid offer over here, which is a really good problem to have because it means that essentially I don't need to focus on going crazy and like going ham on acquiring clients and whatnot. Right now, I believe I set it around 100% close rate, which is absolutely insane, something that I've never even had before. So it's good to have this, but obviously that will change as I turn on ads and these videos get more views and whatnot, and time goes on. But essentially now what my plan to do is to do a few things. The first off of those is going to be to get a contract in place, not for the existing clients I have, but for new people when they get on board, pretty much just to set the expectations so that I know when someone gets on board, I know that they're being legitimate in the way that they're actually documenting, they're showing all the wins that they get with me so that we can stay accountable. And I know that if I fulfill on my end of the deal, which is getting them their first client, then I receive of course the agreed upon payment amount and whatnot. So that's the first thing that I actually want to do with the contract. Then from that point on, I want to create a deck. So what the deck would actually look like is when someone's getting on board and actually going into the process, I want to create an onboarding deck that basically shows them a bunch of case studies of people that have seen success before them, so they're even more committed. And I also want to create what I call daily engagement. So in combination with the daily message that I hit all my clients with, what I also want to do is create daily engagement where I the same way can have data that they actually track the same way that I do my data. So I'm able to look, let's just say once per day, and see all my clients' data just like on a spreadsheet, similar to this, so that I can make sure and see any tweaks that we actually need to make in order to make more money in the business. This is the big things that I am actually doing. In regard to the acquisition, right now I believe this week we've got on 4 new clients, so it was a really good week in that regard. And essentially I just need to learn how to convert this attention into paid clients, which doesn't come down to getting results. Actually, a lot of the guys are getting great results already. This process is something I'm quite familiar with just from my previous business. However, the process is actually how can I make it a good customer experience for someone to want to move forward and see the value in doing so. And that is the actual big, I guess, goal that I have over the weekend. And outside of that, it's just boring business stuff such as if you don't know, I'm a Canadian citizen, so going to the US, I have to get all my US stuff set up. I have to get my business here with this new name set up. I got to do all that stuff over the weekend, which is the boring stuff of running a business. But outside of that, I'm super happy with how this week went and my big takeaways going into next week and what the objectives are. If I actually pull up the war map here and show you guys what that looks like. So far, the goal of the month is actually doing pretty well. If I were to change this, 4 to 6 free clients onboarded, we've actually got 6 out of 10 free clients onboarded, which is super, super good. And of that, I want to actually onboard and re-sign 5 of those guys onto free, which we're looking on track to do, which should be a good month here. And essentially, as I mentioned, the Canvas contract onboard, which I'm going to be working on, RBC US card, that was what I was mentioned there. And then Onboard Jack was one of the guys I got on board. I did not actually yet get to go back and rehash all the videos yesterday. So I'm going to do that today. Hopefully get through all those, rehash all those videos, because that's something that's going to be massively improving the click-through rate and just the bingeability of this series in general. And if I can get all that done going into the weekend, building CRMs, and then once again, I actually want to run a big database reactivation. So my processes for actually acquiring clients when it comes to like thank you for booking, nurture sequences, all that stuff isn't actually great right now. So I want to improve that for myself, begin tracking the conversion conversion rate on my calendar, get that up, because right now it only sits around, I believe, anywhere from 2 to 3%, which is just not great. And if I can do all of that, it's going to make it so that when someone watches these videos, likes the offer that they see, which, by the way, if you are a coach or online consultant of anything form and you want me to actually work free to sign a client and just be one of those guys that I work with, you can get access. Just call 111 with me. Completely super simple. And yeah, that is essentially what I've got planned for the weekend going into next week. And if I can get all that done, it's really just about segmenting out my delivery, and we should be on track to hit all the goals for the month. The only one I'm actually worried about is this mastermind. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing that, so I'm going to delete that for now. But yeah, outside of that, this goal is on track. We should actually be able to hit this next week if everything goes all well and good. Posting daily reels and vlogs, that's something that we're already doing. Just need to keep doing that. And then upsell and actually re-sign 5 clients, which is where a lot of the work and the legwork is going to go into this month. If I keep doing that, we're in a really good position. I just need to set up my sole proprietorship and banking. And yeah, it is going to be a super, super good month. And that is honestly a pretty good update of what's going on in my business this week, and then also today, and then going into next week, what I'm actually going to be taking care of. As mentioned, I'm actually going to be continuing these videos over the weekend, so you'll see kind of the working. When I have no calls in my calendar, it's just pure locked in time. Also going to be recovering from finally getting over the sickness so I can start working out, getting to the gym again, which is going to be another big part of this series I want to implement. But if I get all that done, it's been a super good week. And yeah, I hope that the time that you spent on this video is with the value that you got, and I will see you tomorrow.